What's up, everyone? So, um, because most people know that I like to buy pre-owned cars, and I've had a lot of success with that. I get asked, a bunch of times, how do I do that? How do I pick the right car? Where do I start? And how do I have the success you had, like getting a pre-owned car versus buying a new car? Because there's risk involved with buying pre-owned cars, obviously. So, I tell them where I go, which websites or which search engines I use, things of that nature. But I decided to do a video to show everybody that will watch this video, ultimately subscribers and just YouTube viewers, how I go about my search for pre-owned cars. It takes a little more work, obviously, because new cars tend to be cut and dry. There's no mileage, there's no accidents and what have you. So you basically pick your color and what options you want. With pre-owned, it tends to be a little more work involved because you're risking the car not being maintained well. So you got to know how to look for signs of that. Um, there are advantages though, where you can look at different makes, different models, um, colors. The field gets a little bigger when you're looking at pre-owned versus new, in a sense. And the biggest, of course, advantage to pre-owned is price. So I like to buy my cars based on price. Mileage doesn't scare me off, and I do tend to look at one owner vehicles, but it doesn't scare me off to see that multiple people own the car, because I know my searches are pretty thorough. So I just want to show you guys how I start my process and which search engine I use or which websites I use. All right, there's one in particular that's really good. It kind of encompasses everything that I need to pinpoint the exact car that I want to look at or cars I want to look at. And I just want to show that to you guys. All right, so if you're ready, here we go. So one of my favorite websites to use has always been CarGurus because, like I said, it's very thorough. It gives you a lot of different ways to break down your search. There's a lot of criteria you can use. I'm gonna show you that list right now. Come on with me. So the thing I like the most about CarGurus is all the filters that they provide. Um, it's almost endless, and I'm gonna show you a few of them that I use. Although they give you filters out the yin yang, I use only a handful, maybe even just like two or three. So let me show you what those are real quick. All right, so like I stated before, CarGurus is the site that I like to use, and they have categories of used, new car, certified, and for sale by owner. We're talking about pre-owned cars. I don't use certified pre-owned or for sale by owner. I just go with used car because in used car it will include this certified pre-owned and it will include for sale by owner as well. So it's all there. Only thing you're required to do is put in your zip code, hit search, and then that's when all of your other filters will come into play. And this was the cool thing about this site is they give you almost an endless amount of filters you can use. The ones, like I said, I only use about two or three. One of them is what make, and let's just go with Acura, one of my favorite car makes. And then you can select what model or models you want to look at. Let's go with a popular model TLX. It won't be many years of this car, and so to make sure we're looking at just the pre-owned ones, we won't include the 2019 or 2020s. We'll just go with the 2015 through the 2018. That way we're definitely looking at pre-owned. And what I like to do, call me crazy, but I will drive 100 miles if I have to find the best deal. This is a 100-mile radius of the zip code you put in. Don't limit yourself to dealerships that are close by. So instead of just going 10 miles, 25 miles, not even just 50, I go all the way up to 100 miles because I'm willing to go out of state. Sometimes you'll find your best deals in different states. All right, so once you search that, that's the few, and then I tend to only like black cars. So here is where you'll find a multitude of other filters. All right, the list goes on. You can filter through trim levels, how many days the car's been on the market, color, the engine type, and what have you. Those filters you can look at when you have an opportunity. The filter I choose to use the most, in addition to the ones I just shown you up top, is the color. Okay, I like to look at black cars. So pick the color, and then you'll see you have, it gives you the quantity of cars you're about to look at. So we're going to be looking at 72 different types of Acura TLXs within a 100-mile radius of where I live. And then the last thing I like to do is search based on the lowest price first. And that filters the lowest price up to the top after these sponsored cars, where there's usually a handful of sponsored ads. So once you've gotten through, I think it's going to be about 3 or 4 of them. It's usually just a handful. After that final sponsored car ad, that's when you'll see your filter kicks in, and that's the lowest price. Like I said, the mileage doesn't scare me. 121,000 on this one, but the $11,000 price tag is what I would be keen on, and then it goes from there. Every subsequent car will be a little bit more and a little bit more in price, a little bit more. And as you can see, most time the more expensive the car gets, the lower the mileage. So if you want, you can filter by mileage, and you can say, I want a car with the lowest amount of mileage. Those tend to be the higher price ones. So like I like to start my search 100-mile radius, lowest price, and it usually gives me kind of around the type of car that I'm looking for. Like I said, the mileage doesn't scare me, but sometimes multiple owners doesn't scare me, but typically I like to put in one owner. Let me see if I can show you one owner. Oh, there we go. Okay, so single owner. All right, and that will shorten your list a little bit more, because sometimes you want to scrutinize a car by how many people owned it, and that's not a bad thing that's not a bad filter to use. So now that you have all your filters that you feel comfortable with using in place, like I said, mine just tend to be a handful. You can use as many as you like to zero in and get that list way down to, the cars you're most comfortable with looking at. But once you've done that, now you can start looking at each car. So once you click right into each car, you'll see there's tons of photos of the car. You can enlarge them, and you can go through and look at every inch of the car, from the interior, exterior, wheels, see how well maintained the interior looks in pictures. Sometimes the pictures can be deceiving, and then sometimes you can see, that the engine's clean, trunk is clean, seats aren't torn, seats are in good condition, even the driver's seat doesn't look too worn. Stuff like that is what I look for. Kind of determine whether I'm going to spend the time to even drive out and bother spending the time looking at the car in person. You'd be surprised, some of these pictures will show that a dealership didn't even detail the car. So if you didn't detail the car and you took photographs for your website, I'm not coming out there to look at that car, because I am going to see exactly what I saw in the picture. A car that pretty much is in, bad shape. But, a car like this that looks this well, especially being at an Acura dealership, it'll be high on my list. That's why the mileage doesn't ward me off. In my mind, when I see an engine this thoroughly detailed by the dealership, let's see here. Yeah. See, now that is a good indicator to me that, I'm gonna go out and check this car out in person. This, in addition to how well the interior was detailed, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend this car to someone that I'm helping search for a pre-owned car, So this is where I start. And something else that I do a lot of and recommend that anyone who's searching for a car do is watch review videos on YouTube. You get a lot of information that way. You go in well informed because you can't always rely on the salesperson to be that thoroughly knowledgeable about a particular car, especially if they sell, if it's at CarMax or something like that, and they sell a bunch of different types of makes and models. They may not be that knowledgeable about a specific car that you're looking at. They may have general knowledge, but they won't have specific knowledge that you have on your own if you do your own research. So I don't rely on the salesperson to always know everything. I find myself going in knowing a lot more about the car than they do. You know, it makes it awkward for them sometimes, but that's not my concern. My concern is if I'm searching for me and if I'm helping someone search, I like to be as well informed about that particular car or cars as possible. So what you'll see me doing is if you ask for my help, I will start to do research. I'll start to look up that car, look at review videos, look at websites, and before we even venture out, I like to be well equipped with knowledge, and it makes it a lot easier for me and that person to find the right car. All right, so if you have any questions about anything I may have left out, or if you have any comments you want to leave in the comment section, please feel free to do that, and I'll go into more detail if you have specific questions. But that's tend to be where I start. I do the knowledge building first, and then I start to venture out to the dealerships once I see once I make a list of cars I want to see. And I've had a lot of success doing that. Got 4 cars now that I really do take pride in, and they turn out to be good cars. So that's that. And on that note, I'll talk to you later.